The following is a two-part review where I do a spin-off show called Night of the Batman, Bats and the Controller. Please enjoy. Hello, I'm Alex Ramsey, host of Night of the Batman. I'm starting today with these two very special video games, Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. Instead of my normal review show, I'll be trying something a little bit different with Night of the Batman, Bats in the Controller, where I'll be reviewing Batman-related video games. Okay, so now on to the review. With the release of the new Arkham Origins video game, I thought it'd be appropriate to look back at the video game that launched this mega-hit video game series, Batman Arkham Asylum. The story that Arkham Asylum has to offer at first seems very basic. Batman takes the Joker back to the asylum for the millionth time, then it turns. Instead of breaking free sometime later to wreak havoc on Gotham, he instead focuses all of his attentions on the island, on Asylum itself. But similar to the titular Arkham Asylum, this game may appear to be simple but has many hidden layers and surprises. This game was one of the superhero-related titles to not be a half-baked tie-in for a summer blockbuster. It was its own original entity, only borrowing elements from the comics while still remaining its own unique story. The only noticeable tie-ins to anything other than comics would be in the voice casting and also who wrote the story. Both Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, and Arlene Sorkin, who played Batman, the Joker, and Harley Quinn in the 90s animated series. Paul Dini, the person who wrote the script, was a story editor and writer for Batman the Animated Series as well. Throughout the Batman's attempts to find the Joker, the player is fully immersed in the bleak environment of Arkham, through extra content like the patient interview tapes that perfectly capture the essence of each of Batman's rogues in a few short audio clips. This game is able to go darker places Dini was restrained from going in past incarnations. On that note, Mark Hamill's Joker feels vastly different from his past performances. The Joker of the animated series was much more funny with a slightly sadistic side. This Joker feels old and tired, almost like him and Batman have been doing this dance for years. This new Joker is much more sadistic, as shown in the first few minutes of the game when he strangles a guard to death with handcuffs. He also seems to be much more in line with his comic book counterpart, mentioning Jason Todd's death and other references as well. This game puts story over mindless action. It would be easy for the developers to just make a dumb action game with Batman in it. But beyond just having a good story, the game takes another step forward by bringing the player themselves into the story with certain key scenes. For instance, while on Scarecrow Gas, Batman's surroundings change to Crime Alley. Then as you journey further, the player becomes young Bruce Wayne, walking down a never-ending alley as the events of his parents' murder play off in the distance, the voice of the murderer being monstrously distorted. Also pulling the gamer further into the game, the player experiences a fake game malfunction, followed by a scene in which the roles of Batman and Joker are reversed. This time Batman being the insane patient being delivered to the asylum and Joker the hero. Scenes like this and hidden Riddler challenges such as secret messages left by the psychotic warden Quincy Sharp, believing himself to be Amadeus Arkham, help elevate this from a good game to a classic. I give Batman Arkham Asylum a 4.6 out of 5 stars. Now I'd like to take this time to see what you guys thought of this video game and also ask questions. Are you excited for the new Arkham Origins video game? Are you excited that they're going back? Would you rather them make a sequel, or are you fine with this and kind of want to see what they do with the new story? Tell me in the comments below what you think, what you thought of this video game, what you want to see maybe in the future game, and other details like that. I'd be really interested to hear it. Okay, guys. Hello, I'm Alex Ramsey, host of Night of the Batman, and I'm here today to do the second part of the Arkham related reviews. I'm here today to review Batman Arkham City. in my special Night of the Batman Bats in the Controller spinoff. Batman Arkham City is the best example of what a great sequel can do. The scope of the previous game is eclipsed by the epic scope of Arkham City. Within the first few minutes of the game, you feel like you've been punched in the face. Unlike the previous games, which started out normal then got worse as they went on, this game starts with the worst and only goes downhill for the player from there. Within the first few minutes of gameplay, the player has been kidnapped and tortured by warped psychiatrist Hugo Strange, who has used the election of former warden Quincy Sharp to expand Arkham Asylum from a few buildings far offshore of Gotham to a massive prison taking up a large percentage of Gotham City itself. Hugo Strange, also knows Batman's secret identity, has taken measures to have Catwoman captured by Two-Face. The player must work to escape the prison and get a hold of the gadgets, having to tackle a very different Penguin along the way. More on that later. The story itself is much bigger. While still carrying over elements from the previous game, the Joker, for instance, after using the Titan formula, enhanced form of the super steroid Venom Bane uses, has left Joker damaged and dying slowly. Batman is infected by the Joker, forcing Batman to search desperately for a cure while trying to unlock the mystery behind Protocol 10, Strange's newest plan. It's almost an achievement of itself how many characters Dini was able to include in the story and still make it all work cohesively. As a bonus and a ways of furthering the story, the player has the option to play as Catwoman, who only attempts the seemingly simple task of recovering her confiscated goods from Strange's vault and Two-Face, running into other villains on the way, such as Penguin. Throughout the game, the player has the option to engage in one of many side missions along with hidden stories and Riddler challenges that help to reveal additional information about how Arkham City came to be. Arkham City is far from the structured prison Quincy Sharp claims it to be, with constant patrol of Strange's self-appointed Tiger Guards patrolling the skies. Various supervillains section off areas of the city as their territory, and political prisoners Strange couldn't keep quiet being thrown into the city. The large open prison has become a hell on earth. Throughout the game, the character must battle their way through Penguin to find Mr. Freeze, who has become briefly a display in Penguin's Twisted Museum. After helping Freeze, Batman discovers Ra's al Ghul has been hidden away in the abandoned Wonder City. Batman, inches away from death, uses rays to get a temporary cure, which quickly backfires and leads to an hallucination battle with Ra's. This and the Mad Hatter sequence replace the Scarecrow scenes from the previous game. Batman discovers the Joker is mysteriously cured. Batman, already cured, attempts to take down the Joker in a fight, but Talia al Ghul is kidnapped by the Joker in the process. This, however, is put on hold as the player finally realizes what Protocol 10 is, a plan to murder all the prison inmates. Batman races against the clock to stop Hugo Strange and Protocol 10 by breaking into Wonder Tower. After a battle with Strange, he is killed by Ra's al Ghul. The player discovers Ra's helped make Arkham City possible with Strange as his apprentice. Strange, in a last effort to murder his former mentor and Batman, activates Protocol 10, a self-destruct code which further enforces his obsession with Batman, the password being Wayne. As Ra's and Bats escape through freefall from the tower, Ra's dies as he is impaled on the prison gate sign. This leads to the player's final mission as Batman attempts to save Talia from the Joker in the theater near Crime Alley. Talia is unfortunately murdered, and Batman discovers the cured Joker was really Clayface in disguise, the real Joker nearly dead from the Titan disease. After a battle with Clayface, Batman contemplates giving Joker the cure, but Joker destroys the last of it, unable to resist an opportunity to attack the Dark Knight. He shortly dies afterward with the knowledge that Batman would have saved him anyway. The death of Joker is one of the most shocking and chilling scenes in the entire game for me personally, and made the game skyrocket above its predecessor. This, along with the radical reinterpretation of Penguin as a little fat crime boss with a gruesome bottle shoved in his eye to replace the monocle, and the transformation of Hugo Strange from a psychiatrist who discovers Bat's secret to a high-level mastermind of a mega president who rules through lies and deception, make this video game not only a classic and a better sequel, but also my personal favorite video game. I think the upcoming Arkham Origins has big shoes to fill. This game, with its multifaceted story, its various side missions, and extra content, make this a nearly flawless game and make it an easy 5 out of 5. What did you guys think of Arkham City? Did you guys like the ending? Did you see it coming? Did you want a sequel and maybe not a prequel? What do you expect from the new game? What kind of things do you think they could do in the prequel to make it almost on the level of this game? Do you think, well, just like in general, what do you think of the game? I guess is what I'm asking here. Are you guys actually going to go out and buy the game too? Is another thing I'm going to ask. And what's your opinion about the direction they're taking this game? Do you think they should have done a prequel or a sequel?